Again, good morning, students. We are we just started with the pathophysiology of snake bite, and we have seen what are the important enzymes which are present in the snake venom. And in addition to that, there are certain toxins like Mojovac toxin, and also there are certain polypeptides and other contents in snake venom, and these all together makes the changes in body, and it leads to even death of the person. So how these all enzymes, polypeptides and the proteins, toxins, these all things contributes to some changes in our body, so that we can discuss in detail. So this is the thing which happens. So you can see in the left corner, enzymes, polypeptides and toxins of venom. So this will cause like direct damage to the tubule of kidney. So there will be new nephrotoxicity, and as a result there will be acute renal failure and prolonged hypotension will be happening when these polypeptides will cause direct damage to the tubule of kidney. So the first effect is nephrotoxicity. Next, we can see the toxins of venom. Toxins of venom, majority of snakes will produce neurotoxic venom, and when there is neurotoxicity, that will leads to paralysis of intercostal muscles plus diaphragm, and the person will go for respiratory failure, and immediate death can occur as a result of this respiratory failure. So that is the first effect of this toxins of venom. And next is the phospholipase, that is enzyme which we have seen in the last slide, phosphoalkaline phospholipases, ABCD. So they also have a neurotoxic effect. Phospholipase also have a neurotoxic effect, and again it will cause the paralysis of intercostal muscles and diaphragm and respiratory failure. And this phospholipase has another effect, that is cardiotoxicity. So it will result in cardiac arrhythmias in the individual. Next is the third effect of phospholipase is formation of lysolecithin and isolecithin, which will cause the vessel wall and RBC membrane some changes. So vessel wall will be constricted, resulting in ischemia, and also RBC membrane will be altered, that results in the sudden hemolysis. So hemolytic changes can be happen as a result of the phospholipase. So that is the third effect of phospholipase. And another enzyme which we have seen in the previous slide is hyaluronidase. Plus proteolytic enzymes. Okay. That is, it causes local tissue destruction. So the necrotic changes when something is bitten, a snake is bitten in our arm or in our any body part, there will be necrotization and other changes, fast changes can occur in the local affected area. So this is because of hyaluronidase. Okay. So I think it is clear the pathophysiology. Once more I will tell. That is, enzymes, polypeptides and toxins of the venom will give rise to pathophysiological changes. The first effect of polypeptide and these all together will produce the nephrotoxicity. And again the toxins of venom will be neurotoxic. And another important content of venom is phospholipase A2. It has three effects on our body, that is neurotoxicity, cardiotoxicity and formation of lysolecithin and isolecithin, that is changing in the vessel wall and RBC membrane, resulting in ischemia, hemolysis and compression of nerve. And the next important content of venom, that is hyaluronidase and proteolytic enzyme. it will cause local tissue destruction. So hope you all understood the pathophysiology. This is to just to make it clear. I made in two videos, so you will have a better revision of this pathophysiology. First of all, you have to understand what are the contents. Generally, enzymes, polypeptides and the toxins are present, and what are the important toxic effect of these all things in our body. So hope you understood. Nephrotoxicity is there, neurotoxicity is there, cardiotoxicity is there, vessel wall and RBC membrane destruction will lead to hemolysis and ischemia, and the local tissue area will be destructed and leads to necrosis because of this another proteolytic enzyme and hyaluronidase. Okay, thank you. Next is toxic effects of snake venom on various organs. So it is very important to understand what are the local and other effects on different body parts. We can see the local effects. So directly it is cytotoxic. So the affected area cells will be destructed very fastly, leads to ischemia, edema formation, compression on vessels and nerves, and necrosis of the tissues. So affected area very dramatically changes within minutes or seconds because of the toxic effect of this venom on the local area of bite. The second effect is on hematological area, hematologic effect that we can see, that is RBC. Already we have seen in the pathophysiology, there will be hemolysis. So hemolysis is due to formation of lecithin and isolecithin and activation of phospholipases of RBC membrane. So we have seen in the down portion, that is hemolysis is because of phospholipase activation results in the formation of lysolecithin and isolecithin. So that is happening in the RBC. Platelets, activation of coagulation system and increased adhesiveness. There will be clot formation will be faster. Effects on coagulation, that is coagulant effect of Viper is due to conversion of prothrombin to thrombin and fibrinogen to fibrin. So profuse bleeding can happen if there is Viper bite. Next is the neurotoxic effect. Postsynaptic block is seen in cobra poisoning and presynaptic block in crate poisoning. So that neurotoxic effect will be there in cobra and crate poisoning. Next is cardiac, that is conduction defects like cardiac systole are seen. Next is renal toxicity, that is acute tubular necrosis, acute renal failure, glomerular disease, renal infection and acute cortical necrosis. So these are the effects on the renal toxicity. So generally we can make in a picture central nervous system. You can see the dizziness, fainting, increased thirst, headache. In systemic manifestations, you can see severe pain and fever. It will be very painful. You might have heard in news channels also, when something is bitten, poisonous snake is bitten, there will be severe pain. So that can be seen. Then respiratory, like breathing difficulty, can be the wound site. There will be bleeding, especially in viper bites. There will be severe bleeding which affects the coagulation system. Fang mark can be seen, bitten mark can be seen. Then discoloration will be the burning sensation, will be the swelling, will be the edema formation. Then other skin sites, bleeding spots, numbness, tingling, sweating. Then vision, there will be blurring of vision. Then heart and vessels, rapid pulse, low blood pressure, severe shock will be there. And next is the muscular, that is convulsions can be there, loss of coordination and weakness can be there. Gastric or gastric system, there will be nausea and vomiting, and intestinal system there will be diarrhea. So these are the some of the general symptoms of snake bite when the snake is a poisonous snake. So we can see the clinical manifestations in detail. Presence of fang mark, pain, swelling, ecchymosis, bullae, serosanguinous discharge, bleeding and gangrene of subcutaneous tissue, regional lymphadenitis. In general systemic features, you can see fever, headache, muscle cramps, diaphoresis, sweating. GIT, you can see nausea, vomiting, colicky abdominal pain, rarely jaundice if the liver is affected. Hematopoietic manifestations, bleeding, diathesis, bleeding from site of bite, venipuncture and gums, epistaxis, hematemesis and melena, disseminated intravascular coagulation, severe anemia. Sorry. Neurological manifestations, numbness and tingling around mouth, scalp and digits muscle, face fasciculations, drowsiness, excessive salivation, ptosis, strabismus, paralysis of tongue and larynx, paralysis of intercostal muscles and diaphragm, motor weakness, hemiplegia, paraplegia, seizures and coma. Renal, these whole things already we have discussed, but for writing notes you can use this. Renal, oliguria, acute tubular necrosis, glomerulonephritis, renal infection, albumin appears in urine if there is crate bite. Then cardiac arrhythmias and cardiac systole and shock can be there. Respiratory system, there will be pulmonary edema formation and the respiratory failure if there is neurotoxicity. Next we can see grading of snake bite. So grade 0, that is no envenomation. So even it is bitten but there is no envenomation, that is grade 0. Envenomation, it is nothing but poison has entered in our body. Grade 1, minimal envenomation, local swelling and pain without progression. Very minimal poison is entered and there is local swelling and pain without progression. This usually happens when the snake is very small and when immediately after taking the poison from the snake. Grade 2, moderate envenomation, that is swelling, pain, ecchymosis, progressing beyond the site of injury, and mild systemic or laboratory manifestations also can be seen. And grade 3 of or grading of snake bite, that is severe envenomation and marked local response, severe systemic findings and significant alterations in the laboratory findings, then we have to consider that the person is in grade 3. So that is grade 0, grade 1, grade 2 and grade 3. And it is depending upon the envenomation, how much poison has entered in our body. So next we can see the diagnostic evaluations. So positive history of snake bite, something from the history collection itself we can have a history regarding whether something is bitten or some pain and some marks in the affected area that can be noted. Physical findings can be taken for findings like fang area, fang mark, then local area will be affected, bleeding. These all things can be taken from the physical findings. Blood or serum examination we will be doing. Neutrophil leukocytosis, that is total count will be more than 20,000 cubic millimeter. Then hematocrit may be increased because of hemoconcentration, later on decreased due to excessive bleeding. Hematocrit alterations can be the initially there will be hemoconcentration, later there will be decreased concentration because of excessive bleeding from the site. Peripheral smear can be taken. So fragmented erythrocytes, that is suggestive of hemolysis, can be found from the peripheral smear. Coagulation disturbances will be there, increased bleeding time, clotting time, prothrombin time, increased fibrin degradation products. So these all coagulation disturbances also can be identified from the blood or serum. Next we can do the renal function. There will be increased blood urea, serum creatinine, then serum myoglobin, then hemoglobinuria, then next is the increased potassium. So this indicates the renal function alteration. Next is the continuation of diagnostic evaluation. Urine will be color will be black, brown, pink or red. Color change will be there from yellow to another colors. ABG changes like lactic acidosis can be the metabolic acidosis with increased pH, bicarbonate and partial pressure of oxygen. Respiratory acidosis will be there with the increased pH, partial pressure of oxygen, carbon dioxide and oxygen will be increased. ECG changes, we can see bradycardia, ST segment depression or elevation. These all indicates the arrhythmia in cardiac arrhythmias, T wave inversion, prolongation of QT interval, various types of arrhythmias. Then immunodiagnosis, ELISA test to detect specific snake venom antigen from wound aspirate, serum, urine, CSF and other body fluids. So ELISA can detect which is the specific venom antigen which is ingested. So that can be identified by the immunodiagnosis. So I am breaking the video now. We'll continue in the next video. Thank you very much.